Alright, you guys have been asking for this. I've gotten so many requests to do this, and today I am finally going to deliver, and that is how do I organize my manga. Hey friends, Laura A. Grace here. So excited you're here. I am the author and co-founder of Fighting God Anime, which is free on a variety of platforms. I'll leave a link down below in case if you'd like to check it out. Somebody recently asked me again, will you do how do you organize your manga? I'm really curious. I want to know. So here we are, and special shout out to Jessica because she was the one that shared here again recently, well not super recently, but had said or asked on the YouTube community post that I did a while back when I asked what do people want to see, and she said, how do you organize your manga? How do you do your risers? And I need to reorganize my manga. So I was like, okay, this would be a good time. So I will be honest. I don't like keeping my manga the same. I like rearranging my manga every time after I film. I know that probably sounds really, really weird, but I personally, for me, with my videos, I find it really boring if I keep them all the same. I'm like, no, I want them to like feature different manga each time that I film. Sometimes for like 2 videos, I'll keep it the same, but usually that's only if I know like I'll have one video, say this month, and then the next month I'll have that same video with the same, or a different video with the same background. And I'm like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. I'll do that. That's actually what I'm doing today, and that's why I was like, okay, it is time to film how I organize my manga for you guys so that you guys can see what I do. So typically what I do is I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I forgot the back. 5, 6. But anyway, what I do is I will make, as I'm taking out my manga, I make 6 piles of manga and I switch it up between each shelf. I don't know if that made sense. So I'm going to try and show that doing one hand. And I definitely apologize in advance if like this video is all over the place because I'm like, again, I don't know what I'm doing. So we're just totally going to wait. So I'm going to take my iPod here off of the like stand thing that I have it on and show what my shelves look like and how I'm going to do my process here. So let's go. Okay, so here are some of my shelves. These are the shelves that I'm going to be working with that I rearrange each time. I do not rearrange that bottom shelf there with the One Piece box set or the Demon Slayer box set. I keep those all the same. I do have like my indie mangas. They're a little bit too big and I don't know where to put them, and I like my manga to at least for the most part relatively be the same size, and I just don't rearrange that one because that's sort of like my special shelf, I guess you would say. I don't know, but I don't touch that shelf. And the same for up here. This is my husband's shelf, as I call it, though there's a few things on there that, I mean, that's pretty much both of our manga, but that I call his shelf. So that's pretty exciting. So all the other shelves, like this shelf right here, that shelf, that shelf, that shelf, and that shelf, I will be arranging. Like I said, I'm going to pull one from each shelf. Here, let me just show how I'm going to do it, because it'll make more sense if I show it rather than try to explain it. Okay, sitting here, you can't see, but I'm going to work with this shelf first. Now, one thing I will say is that I always alternate with my Haikyuu manga and my Kimi ni Todoke manga because both of those are the 2 longest manga series that I have. So right now I have it on this bottom back riser. You can sort of see Haikyuu right here and some right here. What I'm going to do is when the time comes, I'm going to take this and I'm actually going to put it here on this shelf so that Haikyuu has a chance to shine, because Haikyuu needs a chance to shine same way as Kimi ni Todoke. So what I'm going to do is starting here, let me see if I move my camera a little bit. There we go. Is I'm going to grab 6 things of manga that goes by series or standalone or by mangaka. Now, with the mangaka, I do try and keep the mangaka's stuff together, except for I realize I think I don't do that with My Love Story and High School Debut because I've never put 2 and 2 together, and I don't know, my brain, they don't have to be side by side, I don't know. But I try and do that for like Io Sakisaka's work, and Yoko Noragiri, who is the mangaka of Those Not So Sweet Boys, That Wolf Boy's Mine, and Love and Focus. That Wolf Boy's Mine had to go. You can't see what I'm pointing to. Sorry, guys. But yes, I try and keep them together. So let's go ahead. I have Fairy Tail Battle Royale. That's going to be 1 pile. And then I have Takane and Hana. Now, Takane and Hana has 18 volumes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the very first volume in a new pile. So that'll be volume pile 2. And I'm going to take the other 17 volumes and I put them off to the side. Otherwise, I've learned the hard way, my stack is going to fall over. And I will show you guys what my piles will look like in a minute. So now I have 2 out of my 6, and I'm going to take Fiancé of the Wizard. That's going to be pile number 3. And then I have Strobe Edge, and since this is all Iosaki Saka, she's going to make my 4th pile. It's Strobe Edge, Volume 1 if Love Me, Love Me Not. Really excited to have this, to be honest. And then Aoharu Ride. Now it's going to be pile 4. Now we are coming to Haikyuu, and what I'm going to do with Haikyuu, since I want it to go here on this shelf, I'm going to take all of the volumes and put them off to the side. You can see Watakune and Hana is over here to my right. And I'm going to put it there so when the time comes, I can put it here when I rearrange it. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, now as you can see, this is sort of one of my risers. I'm going to share all my risers at the end, but this is one of my makeshift risers. So now I'm going to go on to the next shelf, and even though I only have 4 piles instead of 6 like I want, I'm going to start over from volume number 1, and I'm going to go ahead and grab a Dinosaur Hour, which is 1, then another series, going to do just the whole thing, which is 2, Kumomo Misery, which is 3, Kaiju number 8, which is 4, and then now I'm going to start on to number 5, which is going to be Destiny's Hand. Please don't all fall, please, thank you. And then for number 6, I'm going to do the next series, which is Springtime by the Window. So that makes my 6 piles that I have. Now I'm going to go, let's see if I can move you guys up. And I'm going to go on to the top part of, the top part here to continue my stack, my pile that I'm doing. So I'm going to go and do that, and then I will come back. Okay, so I have finished taking all my manga off except for Kimi Toroke. Kimi Toroke is going to stay there for just a minute because I'm going to move that. I guess that's sort of obvious, but anyway, it's going to stay there. But here is what I was trying to say. I have 6 stacks of manga. I can't use my finger to count and point because I'm holding my microphone, but there are the 6 stacks that I made. The ones over here are continued series. So I have Haikyuu, Takane and Hana, Honey So Sweet, Library Wars, My Love Story, Shortcake Cake, which I forgot at the very top, and then Snow White with the red hair. And here for the big reveal, which I feel is like not very exciting, but these here are my risers. As you guys can see, it's very anticlimactic. It's nothing pretty whatsoever. Fun fact, I do not like using, or I don't like washing small containers. Like, I cannot stand washing containers whatsoever. So I have these like small ones, and I have some over here as well. And I was like, man, what can I do with these? And I had some boxes one day, and I think this is actually the box that had this bookcase over here. This one, pretty sure it had the black one. So I cut it up, and I just sort of like measured, and then I used that to make my risers. Now, as you guys saw down here, I also have to use some of my novels because I ran out of containers and I just have been too lazy to actually go to the store and find an alternative. I know East Coast Manga had a really great video on how he did his risers, and this, I say great because I was like, okay, that's a really cheap method to use, and so I use containers, books, and boxes. Like I said, it is nothing fancy, nothing special, but it works, and nobody ever knows, but now you guys know because of that. Now, I did not rearrange this manga section just yet because these are my big ones. These are the only manga that I put in this section. I do not put any of like the small Viz Media ones. And Jasmine, my daughter, put a sticker on Haikyuu. I just realized that. But I don't put any of those here. I do the bigger ones because I do have, these have the same kind of, well, I'll show you guys in a minute. But they have the same kinds of risers as my container ones. So I just have it measured better and correctly the way that I want it. So now that we have all of that, you guys have seen my risers, my cheap risers, I am going to come here and I'm going to take Kimi Todoke. Kimi Todoke has been up here. My system that I do for Kimi and Todoke is, so since it was on this bookshelf, I'm going to take Kimi Todoke and I'm going to put it here. After I film a video, then I will move it down to here, right here on the shelf. And then after I film another video, it will go down here, then here, then here, then here, until it goes all the way back to where it currently is. I do the same exact thing for Haikyuu, but Haikyuu, like I said, is going to be going on this shelf. What I'll probably do is make it ongoing, so it'll start, sorry, don't mind my mic, go from the beginning of the shelf, and I'll have it go into this shelf right here. So let's go ahead and I guess talk about how I organize my manga. And I'm back beside you. Hopefully the sound sounds okay. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move the Kimi Todoke down to here. I'm going to go ahead and do that now before I start pulling manga from my manga stacks over on the left side. Okay, that is good to go. That one, as you can see up here, doesn't really have a riser. It has half a riser because I ran out of boxes. So it just has half. Now I'm also going to go ahead and put Flower in the Storm over here by Kimi Todoke, since I don't want that to be on the shelf. So I have my 6 piles. Hopefully you guys can see them. There they are. So I have my 6 piles. So usually what I do is I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to go to this one, and then that one over here, and this one in the back, this one and this one, until each stack runs out. And then as I pull series, I don't have any examples, but as I get to series, then I'll go over here, like say I pull Library Wars, then I'll go ahead and get all of Library Wars and put that also on the shelf as well. So for this, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go ahead and take Golden Japanesque, and I'm going to go and put her here and start doing this, and start doing this series, or filling up this shelf, then this shelf, and then I can come up here and then I can do Haikyuu. So let's go ahead and go for that. Fun fact, I'm going to start right here. So one quirk that I definitely have besides rearranging all of this, my manga must all be, I don't think you can tell, they all must match. So let's say, this is a good example. So let me do this one. We have Sadako and Nada. This is a smaller manga, and it's smaller than Honey So Sweet. Let me just do one volume. Here we go. So it's smaller than Honey So Sweet. Do you see, like if this was on the shelf, usually Sadako and Nada could be pushed back so that it's like this on the shelf, for example. I don't like that. I do not like that. They must, despite that this one is smaller, they must be matched just like this. See how Sadako and Nada goes? We're like this. Even though Sadako and Nada should be like that, I must have it like this. Like, that's the only, like, super quirk I have where they must match in size. Like, especially on my shelf. Like, anytime I rearrange it, it always must be the same. I don't know. Has to be the same. Just the same on my shelf. I don't know what the word is. But that is the one thing that really bothers me. That it always must be like that. Okay, back to putting on manga. We are currently going on to the second stack that I have over here. Let me see if I can show you guys what I mean. There we go. So this stack right here, I had a stack here, it's completely gone, and I put it up on this shelf. Now I'm going to start putting this stack of manga on this shelf over here. Got the second stack down and good. Now I'm going to do the third stack. Okay, did you see what I just did here? Like, this is a great example. See, it was originally like this. No. Let me zoom in here. Okay, I picked up the camera. So you see how I have it like this? Or it was like that? No. No. That is not cool. That's not pretty on my shelf. I want it to all be lined up. Just like that. Even like this one right here would be like that. No. It's not pretty. Same as this one. It must come out and all look lined up nice and beautiful like that. I forgot to turn my camera back on. But as I was trying to say, I love how this Haikyuu shelf is. I have thought about leaving it like this in the past of just leaving it here because I really love how I can make it continuous. But no, I want all the different manga to be featured and to look really pretty. But as you can see, I filled up this little section right here because Kamini Toroke didn't go all the way there. And then I put Takane and Hana here since it was next to my stack. Though I did have to move my On the Villainous Taming the Final Boss manga. I'm going to move that up to the top, and hopefully my camera is going to reach all the way up there. Or my camera stand, I should say. And then I filled it up with those Not So Sweet Boys and Love and Focus right here with Yoko Noigiri's. So what do you guys think so far? This process probably seems pretty extra, but this is my process, and if anybody even hates on it, that's fine. I'm still gonna do it even if people don't like it because it makes me happy, and that's all that matters. Though as you can see, at times my manga does get like little scruffs up at the top from when it like falls over and stuff, but it's still, even with those little scruffs, it does make me happy to rearrange it like this so people can see just different manga and not the same manga every single time. So let's go ahead and go to the top. Okay, that is as high as my camera stand can go. So let's go back and continue the manga putting on the shelf. And manga is a go. I did have to put Shortcake Cake at the very back, and it just all fell over because I didn't put my plushies there to stop it from falling. But I'm really happy with everything else. Now we're gonna go down and we're gonna do the big manga. Okay, I did it again because my camera fell and I forgot to hit the record button. So what I was trying to say is we're gonna do this shelf next. One of the things I don't move is I don't ever move these. I just don't have a choice. At least for right now, they just stay there. Unfortunately, they stay there and hang out with Link. But for these, I have a really similar process as I did all of my other shelves. But instead of making a stack of 6, I make a stack of 3, and then I alternate them, where I'm going to do, like, I took out the Way of the House Husband, the Legend of Zelda, and I also did Play It Cool Guys. These 3 are my bottom stacks, and then what I'm going to do for the next one is I'm going to go and I'm going to get that top corner. Now that I've gotten them, I'm going to start at the end of this shelf, sorry Link, and put it on my 3 stacks. And for this one, those are my risers. My old books are, or some of my novels are my risers because I can never find a container or anything to fit that really well. For this one, like I said, did with my other stack here, you see I have 3 piles. I have the rest of Fruits Basket off to the side because it's so big, but I'm just going to take these and put them on the same way as I did the other ones, and just like I said, rearrange it. So like I'm gonna move my Senpai's Annoying, since it's there, I'm probably gonna move it to the, or like this shelf right here. So let's do it. And that, my friends, is how I rearrange and how I organize my manga. As you guys can see, it's all nice and new, and I love looking at it. It makes me very happy that it's new and it's different than from what it was at the beginning. I have no idea if this video made sense or like really was enlightening of what my process is, and I totally apologize. Just I hope that nonetheless that you guys still enjoyed it, and I would love to hear, how do you guys organize your manga? Do you change yours as often as I change mine? And do you have a specific way of how you rearrange them or how you arrange them after you like start moving things around? I would love to hear from you, friends. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!